Welcome to the review of the XPED SynMat 7. This is, in my opinion, the best camping pad on the market for the money. Jumping right into it, XPED claims that it weighs 30 ounces. They also claim that it has an R value of 4.9. That's pretty good for a pad this size. Pulling the SynMat out of the supplied bag, you'll see that there is a little pouch that contains a patch kit, which I have yet to use, and hopefully never will. It seems to be relatively durable, so I don't think there will be an issue with leaking. Rolling out the mat is pretty simple and it doesn't hold a form like some other mats do. Integrated in the mat is a pretty worthwhile pump. I find this to be far easier and more reliable than a quote-unquote self-inflating mat. You can see there's a specific hand placement which requires you to make a seal with your right hand every time you press down. I think it sounds more complicated than it actually is. The mat fully inflates when obviously you can't add any more air. That's when you just close the nozzle and flip it over. In the past, I was using a Thermarest Z-Lite foam pad. While this pad weighs far less than the XPED, it's far less comfortable. You can see lengthwise it's about the same. The width of the pad is really where the XPED shines. You can see that the Z-Lite is not very thick, but when you turn over the XPED, it looks like it's probably 6 times as thick as the Z-Lite. Before I even used the Thermarest pad, I was using this EMS Crash Pad Scout I had got with a backpack bundle. I'll use this as a general reference for a self-inflating mat. Not to say that every self-inflating mat acts like this, but to me this is what it seemed like. The theory behind self-inflating mats is that you can open the nozzle and just let it sit for maybe an hour, and it should be relatively inflated by the time you get to use it. My experiences have been far opposite, and I have had to always inflate it by mouth almost every single time, even if I leave it for 2 hours. You can see lengthwise it's about the same as the XPED. This self-inflating mat doesn't compare at all in terms of width to the XPED. You can see right here that the XPED is still probably 3 times as thick, and is definitely preferable for the side sleeper. While probably not an issue, you can see that the self-inflating mat rolls on itself in just one big roll. I found that the easiest way for me to deflate the XPED is just to open up the deflate thing and lay on it, let it deflate a little bit, get back up, fold it a little bit, and then lay it on again while it's folded. It's a slightly more complicated process than the self-inflating mat, but it's really not that much harder. Again, the XPED SynMat has a far better form factor than the other 2 mats that I've used once they're deflated or folded. This is a huge plus, in my opinion, for almost every application. As far as backpacking goes, you obviously can put it inside your pack, and for motorcycle camping, you can just have more space in your panniers or wherever else you're putting it. If your panniers are big enough, like mine were, then you're able to just put it inside the panniers and not have to mount anything on the outside, which is nice. At the time I bought mine, I paid 120 bucks. The Z-Lite was about 40, and the EMS was part of a package deal, but probably cost somewhere in between. I bought the SynMat 7 in an REI, not that it matters where you buy it from, and believe me, I wish REI was giving me money to tell you that. Do yourself a favor and buy this one. Buy it. Buy that one. Right there. That one. Yep. Right there. Okay, good.